Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and a couple of videos back I asked you guys to give me some ideas about what you would want to see for the channel going forward. I was kind of a little bit struggling for inspiration. Didn't really want to do too many more live play videos, particularly live play on regular tables on Sky and Unibet, because the videos can be quite slow and quite often quite dull with not much action. And you guys responded. It seems like the most popular suggestions were a bankroll challenge, which is what this video is going to be launching, and like kind of some other strategy stuff where maybe I review hands of students or review hands that are posted in my Facebook group, or if there aren't too many hands posted there, hands from Reddit or 2+2 or something. So we're going to be doing 2 or 3 videos per week. 2 are going to be live play bankroll challenge videos, and 1 will be reviewing hands, other people's hands videos, not my own hands, other people's hands, or other people's questions. It can be theoretical questions, it can be questions on bankroll management, mental game, anything. If I see an interesting question anywhere on my Facebook group, or if I see an interesting post on 2+2 already, I will add it to my favourites, and we'll just tackle 2 or 3 posts per week. That seems like a good mix to me. I'm not super keen on bankroll challenges. People always accuse you of being broke when you're doing them, which isn't the case here, of course, but it is what it is. That's what people want to see, and I do try and aim to deliver things that people want to see. So here we are. We're starting off with just $100 on 888. We're going to start by playing some $10 Snap. We're not going to be observing super cautious bankroll management, and it's not like a bankroll challenge of I'm going to spin the 100 into 1,000. It's going to be a quite simple challenge of let's see what we can turn the 100 into before Christmas this year. This is going to help pay for my Christmas. I don't know what the title's going to be called yet of this series, but basically it's kind of let's pay for Christmas with hopefully 888. If we lose $100, it'll be the end of the challenge. I don't intend to reload at any point. So if we go busto, we go busto. If we go down to say $50, I will drop down to 5 and L and grind it back up. But if we get to 240, 250 or 300, something like that, and I see some good 30L games, I'm just going to grind them, because I'm plenty rolled for 30L. We could just have started at 30L, but people wanted a bankroll challenge. And I had no intention of playing 50 now, really. So the only way we can do a bankroll challenge is to start low and hopefully aim high. So that's the plan. And just let's see how much we can make between now and sometime in middle December. I guess should we aim for like some arbitrary figure like the 14th of December, second week in December? Let's see how much we can make. Don't know how many hours I'm going to be able to put into this. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to put at least 30 to 40 hours per month in. But I might not be able to. So in the chat, assuming that I can put at least 30 hours per month, this is a 90 hours play with somewhat reckless bankroll management. If we get to say, like I said, 240, 250 and I see some good games, let's have some guesses on where the balance might be. Anything between 0 and 1,500 is a possibility, would be my guess, based on how many hours I think I'm going to be able to play. So, give us a guess. Let me know what you think it's going to get to. The person who ends up with the closest guess, let's say, the person who ends up with the closest guess to my end figure on December the 14th, 2017, will win 3 sessions with me. So, get your guesses in the chat box, and for that to be like a live thing, we need to have at least 10 people guessing in the video below. So if at least 10 people guess the closest to the actual figure at the end, and I won't be doing any withdrawing from this, this is what it's going to be. The person who gets closest to it at the end of it will be the winner. Obviously, if I end up crashing and burning and going down to 0, which is super unlikely, but if that happens, then there won't be a winner, because obviously people can just put 0 and give themselves a good chance. So if we end up crashing and burning and losing every cent, then there's no winner, and the project has been deemed a failure. So without further ado, these videos aren't going to last much more than half an hour a pop. I'm going to try and do 2 half-hour videos per week. Let's get right into it. Why is it put down my other screen, dickhead? going to put them all there. I knew it was. I knew it was going to put them all over there. Yep, and that one went there too. What a fucking surprise. There we go. And we'll get the get this one in the corner so we haven't got like a dreadful screen. Not in love with this double barrel situation. We do have a pair and a gut shot, so we have to call again on table 3. Not loving it. Will be folding to a river barrel if we don't improve. And we do not improve. He instantly checks. Now it's whether I want to turn my hand into a bluff or not. And given how much he bombed the turn, I'm very worried he's going to be bluff catching this river. Do we have enough showdown value? I doubt it. Are we going to get him off an ace by betting? Probably not. And I don't think he bets a jack on the turn that size. So I don't think he's going to check fold an ace. So I'm just going to give up and just hope to win sometimes. Wow, he did barrel the jack queen that big on the turn. I don't like his barrel there. Fair enough, it worked. But overall, I do not like the size of it. It's kind of what's the try to achieve. He gets called by exactly my hand, but he folds out a lot. But whatever. It is what it is. We're going to triple barrel now on table 2. He snaps us with the king jack. Oh, I didn't realise his stack size. Maybe I should have been looking more at his stack size there. Could be a mistake. Moving the nuts on table 1. So what happened on this one? No, I'm still fine with the jam. I mean, I think his call is somewhat ambitious versus a triple barrel there, but encouraging that we can get large bets paid off in these games, hopefully. So even though we lost the pot, I'm going to take a decent amount of encouragement from it. I'm going to be largely sticking to the principles that I highlighted in my video 2 or 3 videos back from this now. If you haven't watched it, it seems to be quite popular. It's got lots of views and lots of likes. About like something to do with like 100,000 hand database review or something. I'm going to be broadly sticking to the ranges I used in that and the style of play I used in that. There'll probably be some changes on the way because let's face it, our games kind of evolve constantly, or they should be constantly evolving. But generally speaking, the basic principles are going to be broadly the same. No idea what's going on here. I'm just gonna let it go. We have literally nothing. I have literally nothing, and in position there, maybe pop a raising, but out of position, I don't really want to. Come on, dude. Get on with it. One thing you will see me doing in this video that you might, or in future videos too, that you might find unusual is I'll be limping the small blind against opponents that I don't believe will punish me for doing so. If I see someone in the big blind with like less than 100 big blind stack, and I've got the kind of hand that I don't really want to try and steal off that player type with, but might want to take advantage of my decent pre-flop pot odds, knowing that I'm not like too like to get punished for limping. I am going to be doing some small blind limping. You guys might like it, you might not like it, but I'm going to be doing it. Call or squeeze with the king jack suited. I'm going to go with the squeeze option. Pick up a caller, and we get a pretty miserable flop, and he snap called pre-flop too. We have that backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, but this isn't really the kind of bet that I want to, the kind of flop that I want to be c-bet bluffing too often. So he's going to check. He might even just check behind too. We might get to see a cheap turn card when he bombs that big. Oh, it's not that big, it's like half pot, but we're not going to try anything too fancy. It's just not a good flop for our hand. It's not a great flop for our range either. When we squeeze a multi-way pot and he calls, I'm just going to give him credit for having a pretty strong hand. And check the nut flush draw here. Good chance I might check raise it depending on how big he bets. Queen 9 suited. Call in position. Try and play a pot with two guys less than 100 blinds. He checks back, so we're going to definitely double barrel now. I say we're definitely going to double barrel. Not in love with him snap calling and the 9 coming off. Nah, just not a good card. We're going to abandon ship. If it was a break, I would absolutely have just overbet the river. But I don't like the 9. He's like check back, snap call the turn, and then the 9 rolls off. You can have too many hands that are going to want to call us on the river here. In my opinion. So again, the plan there was definitely double barrel, but that I did not like the river. Sometimes you have a plan, and then if something happens to make you want to deviate from it, then just deviate from it. If it doesn't feel right all of a sudden, if something feels right and then something happens to change that feeling of rightness, then I tend not to ignore it. That seems like a good flop for 3 kings. Pretty dry flop, so we're going to check once, see if we can't get one of these guys to bet and maybe trap 2 people on a raise. Or maybe even just check call. Sadly, it appears that no one's going to have very much here. Hopefully the 5s improve somebody to a set or something. The problem is when you flop top set on this board text, it's really hard for anyone to have anything they want to call with. But we can't check a second time. We need to bet and just hope someone has something they can call with. Although I wouldn't be surprised to see just 3 folds here. That is not the prettiest of rivers. Given this stack depth, we can't bet fold. Not really sure what can pay us here. If we jam though, that's the issue. I just bet really small. And then just side call it off. If he jams here, he's almost certainly going to have a flush, I would imagine. Pretty grim start to the session, pretty grim start to the challenge. I think we're beat here a lot of the time. But we don't look like we have 3 kings, so we kind of have to call. And just if he's backed into a flush, he's backed into a flush, which he has. I guess we just bet the flop that doesn't happen, but never mind. Not the best of starts to proceedings, that's for sure. But shit happens, doesn't it? Shit happens. and keep check back here with the ace. I think we can be good a pretty decent amount of the time. I don't really see too much value in betting. We are ahead. Not that much to protect against, I guess. If we're behind, he's not folding much. Had a stronger ace, I would call here. Pretty trivial 4-bet with the ace-king suited. Not the short stackers in these games, by the looks of things. Well, not short stackers, but people buying in short, tagging them as fish. They might not actually be fish, but what we can safely assume is they ain't going to be good regulars. That can be safely assumed for sure. Squeeze with the king queen off. Suited I would peel. Suited cards played a lot better post flop, especially in deeper stack situations, but king queen off, much less post flop playability, rather just squeeze with it pre. Either get their pot heads up or just take it down there and then. 4x open. Don't see that many often. Not going to 3-bet versus an unknown who's 4x under the gun, but we're certainly going to play our ace-5 suited on the button. Well, we thought we were going to until... This is the problem with the 4x races. The squeezes that are coming after them are fucking ginormous. There's nothing which you can do to defend against that unless you're trapping with some massive hands pre-flop too. Fucking cat. Fucking cat. When is she going to grow up a bit? I'm going to 4-bet the 10s, I think. Actually, we're not going to call and look to play some post flop. Seems like a pretty good flop. We could be falling into a trap here, but we don't want to. If he has got any ace highs, we certainly want to charge. We don't want to give him any free cards. We check raises. It kind of sucks when he check raises. We're not folding though, I don't think. We're going to run into like bigger overpairs a decent amount, but We ain't folding. Oh, wow. Ace-6 just rivers me like that. Never mind. That was obviously pretty ugly from him, but what are we going to do? Challenge has got off to an absolute humdingly stinking start. Glad it's on your turn, NL. All you guys on the 0, you're not going to win a session, but you might be right. You might be right. We might be doing some 5-L sooner rather than expected. Sooner rather than later. But these are the trials and tribulations of playing poker. You have to wade through fields and fields and fields of shite. You have to endure a lot of what many of you will be calling, oh, that's fucking bullshit, that's bullshit. You have to endure all of that stuff. You have to remain calm through it all. You have to just understand that's part of poker life and just get on with it, basically. That, or you can just be a losing player or quit. Those are your 3 options. Get on with it, keep playing well, and bounce back. Do I want to 3-bet the ace-9 here? Nope. Or you can sulk about it and throw good money after bad. I know which option I prefer. Pretty obvious it's going to be a losing session now. We won't be chasing the losses. All we'll be trying to do is play well for the remainder of the session. Hopefully recoup some of them. And start next session with a good attitude and wait for good things to happen, I guess. And go for the delayed c-bet with Jack-7. Here's my problem with these types of hands. They look nice to 3-bet, but we've got somebody in there who isn't playing a full stack, who we likely don't have as much fold equity against as we'd like. And I think we just 3-bet these too often, we get called, and then we're out of position with a marginal hand versus the calling station, or potential calling station. So that would be a good hand to 3-bet in games where our opponents were like folding to enough 3-bets to make it worthwhile. But 3-bet bluffing isn't something we're going to be doing an awful lot of at 10-L. We're going to be doing an awful lot of peeling pre-flop and looking to outplay people post-flop. Tempting to raise here. I think we're going to. We'll raise fold with our flush draw. Let me see how we can have 3x once he folds. I mean, I guess he can have jacks full, but don't see how we can have 3x very often. Don't see how we can have it too often either, but that's by the by, really. This is irritating. Nothing we can do, of course, but it's irritating nevertheless. And this is irritating too. Looks like we're having possibly a pretty horrendous session in terms of how well we're running. I mean, we just can't fold the aces to this super small turn raise. But we're going to be beat a ton of the time here. But I just don't see how we can fold to that size. It's going to be a grum sweat. If he really bombs this river, it's going to be a pretty damn rough spot. And I think we're just going to end up folding. If he bets like 30 to 40 blinds, I don't see how we can call here. I don't see what we beat that like floats a flop and wants to raise that turn. I guess we don't block hearts. But I mean, this line is just so strong. In these games against unknowns, this line, it's not a bluff. Really, often enough to make me want to just like bang 40 blinds in there with one pair. It's frustrating. The session's been like pretty much a complete disaster. But what can we do? It's just, as we talked about earlier, it's part of the game. And I think that fold there is one of the strengths I have that lots of other players don't have when they're having these fucking howling sessions where like your value hands get cracked constantly, like your strongest hands get cracked constantly, and you run bad, you get it in bad, your races don't work, your bluffs don't work. When pretty much everything just goes wrong, it's easy when you've got the aces there to say, "Oh fuck you," and just click the call button, knowing you beat. And this is why people have like larger downswings than they should. It's because they just lack discipline. They lose their minds when things don't go their way. We've had probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes of just nothing good happening and anything that could go wrong seemingly going wrong. But that doesn't mean to say we've got to. It doesn't mean we've got to compound that by playing shit as well, and just making some very clear mistakes. Like I think that calling with the aces would have been a mistake there for sure. And we're going to go for delayed c-bet on table 3. Do not give me a walk with kings. That would hurt. Oh, then I get a walk with kings. This is a potentially very frustrating session. Having the king of spades isn't great here for us. We are going to bluff again though. Wouldn't be at all surprised to get raised given how the session's gone. Woohoo, we get one through. Given the board's so dry, we're going to check the flop with the... I check a lot of flops anyway, so it's not massively beyond the realms of fantasy that I would check trips here too. We have managed to get someone to bet the turn. He's going to call, obviously. No need to raise at this point. And we're just going to call this through. But again, there's no real value in raising. Not sure what we're going to get action from. Oh, well, never mind. Hit one of his outs. And I can hear you guys now thinking, if he'd have raised a turn, that might not have happened. That's not really particularly relevant. Checking back that flop and raising that turn, it wouldn't make too much sense. We're just getting crushed everywhere. We are getting crushed all over the place. I mean, I guess I'm glad that guy didn't bet the turn. Our one at showdown is going to be very, very low this session. That will be another set that we flop. We've not been wanting for strong hands. We just haven't managed to get any of them home. thought ace jack was best hand on the turn. I'm not as sure now. Having a diamond and a spade is not at all useful for calling this river though, because we obviously hold blockers to both of the flush draws, so we'll just fold. Obviously we get min raised. I mean, if it makes a bigger raise, we can maybe think about folding, but he doesn't, and now he's probably going to bet like 11 or bigger. That's just 6.8. I mean, clearly we're folding at this point. I don't recall having like a more irritating session for it. I'm just very, very glad it's happened at 10-0 and not at like in my normal games, because now I'd be pretty frustrated. Because I haven't checked, but I'm going to presume it we're at least 2 buy-ins down here in 25 minutes of play. Do I squeeze with the ace 10 or do I just call? Squeeze versus a min raise. Sadly, we do pick up a caller, which we didn't particularly want. Expect him to check back this turn 100% of the time when he doesn't have a straight. So I'm just going to lead. Oh, and then the straight comes on the board. Never mind. Never mind. Kind of just sums up the session. Yep, we've run pretty salty. We've got 3 minutes to turn it around. And we've done like a 30-minute play. Obviously, I'm going to be playing between sessions, so the bankroll won't be just this next time. I'm not going to commit to record every session I play. I'm just going to commit to recording 2 sessions per week. And that's going to be about that. So there are going to be, next time we log in, who knows, maybe we'll have lost even more money, maybe we'll have won some back. I do guarantee I won't be topping the account up though. Absolutely guarantee that. So if the account does go up between sessions, it's just because I've won it. It's not because I've topped up. No point in doing that. It's ridiculous. It would just be cheating myself, cheating you as viewers. It wouldn't really achieve very much. I shall back it up with holder manager updates. We go for the 3-bet here with the ace 5 suited. And we're going to sit out next blind in all of them. And then we'll assess the damage. I'm going to guess that the roll is going to be on between between $75 and $80. I think we've lost a quarter of our roll on the first session, or close to a quarter of the roll. But we'll see. Before we hold it up, what do you guys think? If we've got more than $77, assuming we don't felt this guy here. King seems like a rubbish card. Deuce seems like a good one. So there we go. What do you think? I'm thinking we're going to have $77.23. Oh, $70.32. We butchered 30% of the bankroll in one session. That is grim. It's going to take quite some comeback. If we drop down to 50, then I'm going to have to go to the 5-0 streets, I'm afraid, which I really don't want to do, but it might be interesting for the series. Maybe it'd be a good thing to drop to 5-0 and show me grinding it back. It'll piss me off a little bit because it'll mean I'll lose about a week's worth of play probably. I was obviously hoping to just accelerate through the hundreds into the 200s and maybe up to 300 and start playing some 30. But it looks like we're more likely to be playing 5 before we're playing 30. But we'll see. Shite start. I'm sure you'll agree that we didn't run the best. Did I play the best? I don't think I played badly. Could I have played some hands better? Maybe. But what can we do? We are where we are. We've lost 30% of the bankroll on the first day. Seems to remember Doug Polk had a shit started bankroll challenge before just kind of walking away from it and forgetting about it. Hopefully I won't do the same, but I guess we'll see. But what I will promise you is I won't be topping up the bankroll, and if we do between this video and the next video, if I do build the bankroll back up somewhat, I will provide evidence of that with holder manager graphs. So I won't be doing anything disingenuous. So we'll leave it there. Feeling a little bit sorry for myself, and catch you soon with another video. Bye bye for now.